Hey everyone, it's Steele Johnson. In a previous video, I took my Squier Stratocaster right here and I swapped out the bridge pickup for a Seymour Duncan hot rails. If you haven't seen that video, click the card now to watch it. But that mod has turned out great. I swapped the pick guard. I've loved playing this since I've done that change to the pickup, and I've played it at church. It sounded great, it played great, but now I decided it's time to make another change. So I went ahead and I bought some Guyker locking tuners off of Amazon, and I'm going to be putting those tuners in this guitar, swapping out the original stock tuners that come with the Squier Affinity Strat, and yeah, just kind of see how it is. When I was looking for locking tuners online, I was really looking at like Hipshot and Spurzl because I was aware of those brands, and guitar players I follow have used those brands in videos that I've seen in the past. So that's where I started my search, but I ended my search with Guyker. I chose to go with Guyker for a couple of reasons. The first one being price. These were $25 versus the other brands being $65, $70, $75. That's a big savings right there. The second piece of it was the fact that these had decently good reviews from a lot of people on Amazon saying they just did the job and did it pretty well. And the third reason is that when I looked these tuners up on YouTube, I was met with pretty much only reviews from creators that were being paid by Guyker to talk about these tuners or other guitar parts for your guitar. I was really hard pressed to find any reviews that creators weren't sent this product or were paid to review this product. And so I thought it would be interesting if I spent the $25, bought these tuners, and gave them a real opinion here on YouTube. So I'm gonna take the strings off of my Stratocaster, we're gonna take the tuners out, and I'm gonna put the new Guyker locking tuners in and see if the installation process is easy to do by myself and see if they even work. Okay, so quick update, these tuners don't actually work with my Strat. They have one hole on the back of them that you're supposed to screw into a screw hole on your guitar. Took my tuners off and realized the tuners I have on there have two pegs on the back of it to hold it in place so you don't have to screw them into the guitar. For a brief moment, I considered screwing the screw into my guitar, drilling holes for it, but that might run the risk of them not being centered properly or aligned properly. So I'm gonna return these tomorrow, and I've already ordered the correct ones from Amazon and they will be here Monday. So let's cut to 2 days from now. So it's been a few days since I got the new set of locking tuners and tried to put them in my Strat, but if you can't tell from the clip, they also didn't fit in the guitar. And it's a little bit challenging because there's many different stores on Amazon selling Guyker locking tuners, and they all have kind of different descriptions, but looking through as many as I could find, the dimensions of the tuners were the same for those ones that have the two holes on the back that are supposed to fit these Fender style Squier guitars. And I'd watched other videos, people had no issues with their tuners fitting in Squier guitars specifically, but the ones that I were sent did not fit this guitar. They were maybe like 1 or 2 millimeters too far past the hole. And looking at the normal stock tuners side by side with the locking tuners, they were two completely different lengths. And so now I am 0 for 2 on Guyker locking tuners for this guitar. And so what I actually did is I returned the second set of locking tuners, and I decided I'm just not gonna buy any more locking tuners from Guyker. You know, I'm 0 for 2. If I buy another set, there's, in my mind, a high chance that it's just going to be the exact same size, not actually going to be shorter and fit this guitar. So what I decided I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick with the stock tuners that come in this Squier Affinity Strat. I am 0 for 2 on locking tuners with Guyker specifically, and maybe in the future I will go with a hip shot or a Schaller. But for right now, you know, getting the wrong tuners at first and then getting the right tuners that just don't actually fit the guitar was pretty disheartening. And I did all this with the new set of locking tuners the night before I was supposed to play at church, and so I ended up throwing the original tuners back in, putting the silver slinkies on my guitar, and was really disappointed with how this played at that worship night the next night, because these strings, while they were recommended to me by the person at Guitar Center, they have just felt and sounded dead straight out of the pack. It's like they're 10.5s, and I typically play 9s, so they feel thicker, which I'm used to thicker strings on my 7-string, but for some reason these have just felt like the life out of the strings has just been gone since I took them out of the pack, and they don't sound bright. They don't even sound that warm. They just sound kind of dead. I don't know how else to describe it, but all in all, this project was a learning experience. Things I learned from this experience were: 1, don't buy anything from Guyker, because they're probably gonna send you the wrong thing, or the thing that they send you will not fit your guitar. It might fit your guitar. Maybe it's just something specifically with this year of Squier Affinity Strat. Maybe these tuners are just 1 to 2 millimeters smaller than, you know, Fender specific ones or any other year of Squiers. But for my experience, they just didn't fit. And so it was just a hassle to order, return, and just go back to what I originally had. And the second thing I learned is don't mod your guitar the night before you're playing a show. You know, that wasn't my plan. I had planned to give myself many days to get it done, but because the wrong thing was sent and then the new thing that I ordered came the night before and it was the wrong size, and I had to just put everything back to the original, and the new strings I got weren't good, it just made for not a great playing experience the next day. I was more stressed and worried about tuning stability, and the tuning stability was fine. These tuners work fine, but you know, I was hoping to walk away from this experience with an upgrade, and unfortunately I didn't get that. But if you are looking at locking tuners, my recommendation is, if you are ever going to try to buy something from Guyker, make sure you measure all the holes on your guitar first, take off your tuner and measure specifically, and then look to see if they've got diagrams in the listing. I believe they did, but for me to get the exact dimensions, I'd have to take the tuners off beforehand. And that's probably just my bad. But at the end of the day, I still want to put locking tuners on this guitar. I just will be going with more of a well-known household name brand like Hipshot in the future, because looking online, people are having great experiences, and unfortunately I have now just had a very poor experience with Guyker. But I'd love to hear what you think. Should I order a 3rd set of Guyker locking tuners and try to see if they'll fit this guitar? Let me know down in the comments. I don't want to, but if enough people tell me to, I will try. So that is my cautionary tale about Guyker locking tuners. They could be great. I will never know, because they just wouldn't fit in my guitar, and it was an overall tough experience for me. But if you purchase from them, I hope you have a better experience and that everything goes smoothly. That being said, if you have this guitar, I don't recommend you buy their tuners. All right, that's it. I'll see y'all in the next video.